Welcome to the TomorrowZone Catalyst Podcast. Today's episode is part of a special series from Spark to Shift, how smart leaders are navigating AI adoption. I'm your host, Deborah Reuben, and each of our episodes, we're talking with visionary leaders about bold moves, real stories, and the shift from AI talk to traction. And this has really been a fun series. Each guest is at a very different point in their AI journey, ranging from personal productivity to team empowerment to company leadership. And they're transforming potential into progress. So if you're ready to step away from day to day and explore what's possible now and what's next, you're in the right place. So let's get to it. Today's guest is someone who knows what it means to lead transformational change from the inside out. Martha Galley is a powerhouse executive with decades of experience in strategic leadership, customer experience, and operational excellence in the software and cloud industries. And her experience includes building new businesses within great companies like Microsoft, Salesforce, and Calix. As the Chief Sustainability Officer at Calix, she's leveraging her deep entrepreneurial roots to reimagine what's possible in broadband and beyond. Whether she's scaling global teams, steering M&A, or championing diversity, she brings a future-focused mindset that perfectly aligns with our mission here at TomorrowZone. So Martha, welcome to our show.
Thank you so much, Deb. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, Martha, we met at a virtual innovation event that included change makers from a variety of industries. And we were just sharing and comparing notes about leading AI adoption in our companies and in our teams. And I was so intrigued by your story about driving AI adoption at Calix. You especially caught my attention when you mentioned creating a safe playground to encourage adoption. So I'm really excited for this conversation. Although a lot of our work is in the commercial equipment finance space, I'm always intrigued to bring in perspectives from outside of our industry because it just shakes up our thinking in a new way. So let's dive in. I'm curious, what sparked your AI journey?
Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm excited about this conversation as well. And just to give your viewers a little perspective, I am a part of the executive leadership team at a company called Calix, and we are a platform, cloud, and managed services company that focuses on broadband service providers. So a very specific industry focus. And as a 26-year-old public company, we're actually undergoing our second major transformation in about 14 years, where we evolved from a networking hardware provider originally to a platform, cloud, and managed services leaders. And now our second transformation, embracing an AI first approach. But the common thread through these changes is our mission-driven focus. It's been a constant for us. And what we focus on is helping customers simplify, innovate, and grow. Our solutions enable our customers to simplify their operations, innovate their businesses to meet subscriber expectations and workforce constraints, and create great value at scale for market-winning experiences. Our mantra is sort of better, never best. So we're continually seeking ways to advance our mission. This commitment to our customers is what really ignited our AI journey.
I love that. How is that mantra again? Better,
never best. What it means is that we launch products, we upgrade our products every quarter, and we're always adding value. I mean, that's what cloud and managed services companies do, but we never rest on our laurels. We look for ways to do our mission better. And that mission, helping our customers save money through simplifying their operations and their support, compete in an ever growing competitive market space by innovating the solutions they offer, and ultimately growing as a business and growing their value to the communities they serve. So we can always learn something about doing that better. And AI was really just the next step. I mean, ultimately, we had all of the components in place before. I mean, we've been evolving over, as I said, more than a decade's worth of time. So that's how we approach it.
Love it. I love it. So when it comes to your AI journey, where did you start and what did you learn from starting there?
As a mission-driven organization, we think about our value proposition, and our value proposition always starts with our customers, if you will, outside-in perspective. And we focus on their needs. So about 3 years ago, we started evaluating how the very rapidly changing and emerging set of AI capabilities could transform our cloud products. And our cloud products today deliver actionable insights. We work with the private and secure data that our customers are generating, and we present to them actionable insights that they can use to run their business better and engage with their customers better. So we wanted to evolve from actionable insights to autonomously acting on behalf of our customers. So imagine an agent that could perform the functions that were critical for our customers running their business. And this shifts the power from customers so that they can scale efficiently and profitably. As I said, our products leverage secure private data within these agents. It's super important for us to make sure that our customers' data is secure and private. And some examples of how that actually works is that these agents, for example, in our operations cloud, can anticipate and proactively resolve network outages. I mean, you and I wouldn't be able to have this conversation if there weren't high performance, high speed, always available broadband networks, available to businesses and individuals alike. And our service cloud can optimize support outcomes. I mean, everybody, when you call a support line, you're never calling on your best day. And so what you want is a fast and accurate resolution to your problem. And, the third example I can give you is Engagement Cloud. And it helps our customers improve the interactions that they have on an ongoing basis with their customers, demonstrating value by educating and informing them and presenting them with new products and solutions that in particular meet their needs. So I'm a work-at-home individual. My son is a gamer and a streamer. And what we need from our network providers may be very different. And so making sure that the network provider has got information that can tailor offers to their subscribers is a very, very powerful thing to do. So imagine a situation where that AI agent in Engagement Cloud could in fact observe the metadata of what's going on and automatically offer that subscriber a new service at a better price. And, our learning about this, you asked, what have we learned? Our learning about this is ongoing. I mean, early on, we realized that if we want to build, sell, and support an AI first portfolio, we need a comprehensive transformation of our company. And really this meant training of the workforce to embrace AI, not only as a tool, but as a collaborator, an actual collaborator. We needed to recruit new talent in addition to training existing workforce and reimagine fundamentally just about every one of our enterprise processes so that we were a credible supplier of AI to our customers and that we had the operational efficiency to be able to make the new investments in the areas that required those new investments.
One of the first things that really caught my attention in your story is where you started from. I think that one of the myths in all of this is that we should start from the technology, but you started from value. And that is so powerful. And then also that outside in perspective, starting from customer experience. And that's so different from what I see in teams that get caught up in the tech first. Here's a hammer, where's all the nails? Taking that totally different perspective on it.
Well, I think that when you focus an organization on being aligned with a consistent mission, and that mission is to add value for your customers, making technology transformation strategy shifts is not fear-inducing for people. They understand the why. And when you start with that outside, what value, how competitive are we going to be in the marketplace? What benefits will our customers receive? You get everyone aligned behind it. And they they then look for ways to contribute creativity and new ideas. I mean, we have a internal conversation, a community, if you will, and the number and variety of people who are participating in that AI community. And that AI community, by the way, is really focused not on our products, but on how we all make the human transition to using AI in every way we can think of, as long as we're using, the tools and the platforms that have been approved because they provide, the security and privacy that we need to run as an effective and safe and secure business. And the conversations there are widespread and very thoughtful and very helpful. Hey, I tried to do this and it didn't work the way I expected. Okay, why don't you try that? So it becomes an ongoing dialogue amongst employees in the company.
That is really powerful. There's so much power in learning and community. And I found that especially when it comes to AI, because it's such a new frontier and it's changing so fast. There is nobody in the world who knows all the things about what this can do, what it can do for us, and how we should use it in our own day to day. And I love the way that you're fostering this mindset for experimentation and learning together. What other shifts in thinking or leadership have really helped you to gain traction in AI adoption?
Some people say that speed is life, or life is speed. Our CEO uses an illustration, which I probably can't show in this conversation, but really the gist of it is it shows how quickly market-changing technologies have been adopted, like cell phones, internet search, and ChatGPT, and how quickly or how slowly they take to reach critical mass adoption.
Mm-hmm.
Well, things that once took years or decades to reach critical mass adoption now are taking weeks or months. And that ultimately underscores the urgency that companies need to rethink their strategies and act really decisively when it comes to the rise of AI, because we are at a mind-boggling speed of technology adoption. So we are a relatively small company. We're accustomed in technology. We're accustomed to moving fast. But this AI opportunity, we like to think of it as it may be overestimated in terms of looking at it in the short term and underestimated in terms of the impact for the long term. So first of all, establishing a sense of urgency that reflects what's going on in the marketplace. And then at a leadership offsite, every single executive in the executive leadership team was asked to present a plan to all of the rest of the field leaders about how that individual was going to reimagine their function through AI, working in conjunction with the IT organization to implement those strategies using, as I said before, unified, secured set of AI tools and platform. And the outcome of that meeting was a company-wide mandate, if you will, to learn about AI and actively experiment with AI in daily work. So kind of nothing was off limits. Now,
Wow.
Big enterprise processes were obviously planned, but individuals were free to apply AI, to their work and to their life. And so that's what shifted. That's how we shifted our thinking about leading AI enabled teams.
I love that you're encouraging your leaders to lead by modeling and lead by example. Even though you had this organizational mandate to learn and experiment, it's not just, hey, you need to do this. We're
Right.
doing it too. And that is so powerful. I also love the idea of helping people to understand the sense of urgency, but also painting a bigger, better future that people want to run toward together, and inspiring that learning and experimentation on multiple dimensions. A lot of the the value that we're seeing in especially generative AI today is happening at that individual productivity level. And what a great
Yes, it is.
opportunity for people to learn a new way of actually collaborating with a technology versus just using a tool, as you mentioned earlier. That is so powerful. So what have you learned that others need to hear, especially about resistance or unexpected wins that you've seen?
Well, I think that people resist things they don't understand or that they fear could negatively impact them. There are a lot of people who are really concerned about losing their jobs to AI agents. And success, on the other hand, is typically very personal and very tangible. So to foster adoption, I think that companies need to prioritize creating both technical safety, which means ensuring that they have in platforms and tools that protect intellectual property. And, that's a big thing for us in our industry. Public tools, you start using them and anything you put out there is all of a sudden subject to public domain. So first and foremost, making sure that you're prioritizing technical safety. And then there's an element of psychological safety. And we talked about it before by encouraging people to experiment, in small ways, both in terms of their work context as well as their personal experiences, really helps them get over the hump of that fear that they don't understand it or it's not useful. I mean, in my own life, I spent several weeks on a family vacation in Portugal, and everyone I know seemed to have gone to Portugal. There was so much data and advice about it that I wrote a complex prompt, which generated a very detailed family travel itinerary. And honestly, could I have done that manually? Of course I could have done that manually. But for me, it organized the thinking and created very quickly an itinerary that we actually ended up using without a tremendous amount of manual research. So that was my breakthrough, if you will, from a personal standpoint. And now I'm really looking forward to finding other ways that I can implement AI in my direct work at Calix.
I love the use case, though, that you used to get that breakthrough. We had a similar story at TomorrowZone. One of our people was hesitant to use AI for company matters because of that fear, but lowering the stakes of the use case. She did the same thing and created an itinerary for a Costa Rica trip. And, that was what got her over that barrier of fear. And now she's, finding so many ways to use it for value adds for the company and the team. But, I think that is a really great lesson, Martha, that, if you lower the stakes for your first use cases and experiments, it can take you a long way toward finding ways to use it in your work.
Absolutely.
So how are you thinking now about what's next for AI for your team or your industry? I know you have an AI first initiative going on, but what's next?
Yeah. So I'll talk a little bit about it from my team. One standpoint, we're requiring our software and application suppliers to show us what their AI roadmap is. Why? Because ultimately we know that we will be able to do more with the same set of resources. So there's tremendous value. My team is intentionally small. We work in a very cross-functional way with all of the line of business organizations, but we manage a very significant and complex, and these days, rapidly evolving workload. But the work in sustainability is high impact, and there are regulatory disclosures, which means that accuracy, so no hallucinating, and auditability are really, really critical. So when I look ahead, in fact, I've got a couple of meetings set up with some of our, technology folks to start to sketch this out. I'm looking to be able to hire an AI agent that we build internally that's got what I like to think of as evergreen expertise, is always learning about what's changing in terms of statutes, in terms of best practices, and those sorts of things, so that we can harness our complex data and those evolving standards to drive insights in sustainability to help us plan, track, and report our work. From the standpoint of the industry, we're embedding AI into all of our products so that our customers can, in fact, do more with what they've got. Not fire a bunch of people, but to grow in a manageable and cost-effective way. And so infusing AI into everything we do is what I see our future bringing.
Wow. What an exciting future that is. And I love that brilliant idea of the evergreen expertise. You know, we also work in a regulated space in commercial equipment leasing and finance. So I understand that we have the same challenge, hallucination, not an acceptable result. I love how you're thinking about it.
Especially if you're going to get audited. Yeah, you want to be careful.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I can't believe how fast this has gone, but we're down to the lightning round. So I just have a few quick things for you. So first, fill in the blank. AI is only as powerful as blank.
You're willing to transform.
What's one word that describes your AI journey?
It's a hyphenated word, but I would call it all-encompassing.
Ooh, that's good. And what do you wish someone had told you at the beginning?
How much fun it would be.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it is fun. I feel like my mind is being blown on a daily to weekly basis since 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been really fun.
It is a wonderful thing to have an opportunity to participate in. I feel very fortunate to be in this place at this time.
Me too. What a fun time to be alive. We have Thanksgiving coming up, and I've been often thinking about just how grateful I am for the technology that we have access to today. I mean, you mentioned it from the beginning, and I was starting to feel, having access to broadband and cloud-based technologies, which now makes it possible for us to have access to all of this AI capability that would not have been possible for us even 5 years ago. It's just tremendous to see. And what a great future we can create together. Martha, I want to thank you so much for sharing your insights with us today.
Well, thank you for the invitation. I've really enjoyed it, Deb.
To our listeners, I hope you took away some awesome wisdom nuggets from that conversation. I know I did. As always, we love it if you like and subscribe, share the episode with a friend. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, stay curious and choose to make awesome happen.